Hey, everybody. Welcome to Invisible Condition. It's not all in your head. I'm your host, Jeff Pearson, and we want everybody living with an invisible condition to know beyond the shadow of a doubt that you do have a voice, you have a community, and you are never, ever alone. And, I get it. Like here on Invisible Condition, I'll be the first to say I get it. Having an invisible condition can be tough some days, right? Some days are rough. I my invisible condition started me off in this world at 2 weeks old with my first brain surgery, and I've had 7 of those to date. And yes, some days can be a little rough. The other thing is, and you got to remember this: there's always hope, always hope. So if you're struggling with that, if you don't think there's hope, if you've lost your hope, if you're having trouble finding it, please let me know. Let me know. Put it in the comments, and we can talk about it. If you're watching on any of these platforms, just comment hope. I can get in touch with you. We can talk because hope's important, and I don't want anybody to lose it. So here we go. All right. The other thing is, I also want to talk to you just briefly about our nonprofit partner, which is Hydra with Hope. Hydra with Hope Foundation is a foundation that was established by my wife and I a few years ago, 4 years ago almost now. Good Lord. It's been almost 4 years. And it's to help assist families that are living with the condition I was born with, which is called hydrocephalus. And it's a condition that can really be a little bit crazy to deal with unexpected brain surgery and unexpected side effects, all kinds of things. So I love talking to families that are new to this and talking them off the ledge sometimes. Honestly, it can be it can be stressful. So I want to have conversations with you and help you in any way I can. We have a journal that we'd like to get into your hands, fill in the blank journal that can walk you through this whole crazy thing called hydrocephalus, each surgery. And honestly, my wife and I love to speak around the country and around the world about hope. Because brain surgery is not necessarily the end. It's just the beginning. And so, and I'd like to think that I'm living, walking, breathing proof of that. And so we like to tell our story of hope. And that's what Hydra with Hope is all about. So if you are interested and would like to help, I would love for you to click on that link. And that is a donation link, full disclosure. We are an honest to God, straight up 501c3. So everything you donate is tax deductible. So we appreciate anything you can donate in advance. Thank you very much. And now I want to talk to you about our guest, which I'm very excited about. This has been a long time coming. we were scheduled to do the show and then rescheduled and then this and that. And anyway, I had something and he had something. And anyway, we're here. Here we are. We're finally here. So today's guest is someone who's built a thriving career at the intersection of innovation, leadership, and resilience. It's pretty awesome. Ankri is the founder of UTS Group and Metador, and he openly lives with dyslexia and ADHD, which for those of you who've been living in a cave for the last 50 years, that's attention deficit hyperactive disorder. So dyslexia and ADHD, conditions that many people struggle with quietly. It's not usually something that is like shout, from the mountaintops, often without even being seen or certainly being understood differently, And so, with a background in architecture, Andre brings precision, creativity, and strategic problem solving to industries spanning, from construction to security technology to business development. Across Canada, it's just awesome what he's doing. Andre's story challenges what we have as a perception of success and supposed is like, what is success supposed to look like? Is there really something it's supposed to look like? It can look like anything, and how does invisible conditions actually become unexpected strengths and superpowers? So I'm very, very excited for you to meet him. Let's bring him on here and get this show on the road. Andre, thank you for being here, man. I appreciate it. This is awesome.
Thank you very much. Thank you for the invite.
Yes, absolutely, man. Yeah. So I want to kick this off by asking you a question that I kind of spring on everybody that's on the show because I can. And I love the answer I get every time. There's no wrong answer.
Right?
Days that are tough, right? So ADHD, dyslexia, like not every day is sunshine and butterflies. On the days that are tough, how do you still maintain hope?
It's actually a very good question. And something that I also discovered since our first intro meeting a few months ago, doing working that I work on myself with my therapist and everything. I actually got diagnosed that I have also a condition called OCPD that provide me so much clarity on a lot of stuff that I do on a daily basis. It's not what people think is OCD. It's called OCPD.
P4.
Personality.
Personality. Okay.
Yeah. And it's very connected to the ADHD. And as you mentioned, there is a lot of days that are not the best. And for people that has ADHD, kind of in a nutshell, the way that my wife kind of categorized my brain, I have 1,000, how she said, I have 1,000 mouses running on a wheel in the same time. So people with ADHD, we have more thoughts running. Our head is running much faster.
Yeah.
So that's mean more negative thought as well. Because as human, unfortunately, we are gauged to go more to kind of negative thinking. So if you're running a lot of more thoughts in your head, you have a higher percentage of negative thinking.
Sure.
And the negative thinking is something that I kind of implement a lot. For example, as I'll take myself even as a kid, I always was a chubby kid.
Okay.
As a person that has ADHD, and I see it today also with my son that also have ADHD, you hear the people that speaking on the other side of the room, for sure they're speaking about me. And then you get into that mindset of the negative thinking.
Yeah.
The process I created that is part of extreme positivity, it's actually about, I call it closing boxes in our brain. So when I wake up in the morning, the first thing I do, I have to fix my bed.
Okay.
So the reason it's very important, and it's actually a very nice YouTube on one of the general from the SEAL, I think he's a Navy SEAL.
Navy. Yeah, he's a Navy admiral. I've seen that guy. Yeah. Yeah, talking about that. Yep.
Yeah. And this is something I learned when I served in the army. I served in the Israeli army as a fighter engineer. It's like a bomb squad in North America.
Wow. Okay.
And we're very particular about fixing the bed, but it's not about discipline. The second you're getting up in the morning, you're fixing your bed, you have your first win for the day. Also, it's very nice to get up to come back home to a bed the bed that is already fixed. So for me, in way to create positivity, it's about routines. So for me, for example, my goal in the morning is to wake up, fix my bed, do a workout, because I know it's important for my ADHD, and get already to the office. If I'm able to do everything and get to the office before 5:30 a.m. in the morning, I have 5 wins. I worked out, took a shower, I fixed my bed, and I gain like 2.5 hours before the office open. That is my best focus time. My day start like fully excited, smiling, everything, because I have so much wins. Like I already have medals, and it's not even 8 a.m. So
nice.
The way for me to eliminate that one, it's to actually creating more positive thinking. And by creating small wins, the small wins creating us a big win. I don't need to, every day we have, we're trying to achieve something and say, all right, I cannot get that job because there is someone there who is better than me, and then negative thoughts start.
Yeah.
But I get invited for the interview. That's mean that I'm in that scale.
Right? Yeah. It's true.
Nothing happened on the way there. I was able to come and present myself.
Right.
I was able to get a feedback if I didn't get a job, how I can get better. Maybe it was not a good fit for me. So there is a positive thing in everything bad that happened. Yeah. And I work also a lot on the business consultation with sales teams. And I tell them on every bad thing that happened, there is something good that happened over there. You just have to find it. Even when a plane crashed, God forbid. Let's kind of remove the emotional people getting hurt. But from the action of a plane crash, there is a opportunity over here for business. There is
Yes.
new stuff that's going to be creating from it. You
Yeah.
just need to keep your eyes open and to look. So let's say it this way, I thrive on my failures. I enjoy everything that I fail and everything bad that happened to me because they're shaping me for the good things that happen after.
Nice. I love that. That's amazing. Great answer, man. That's a perfect answer. Yeah, that's great. If more people would have that outlet. Yeah, some people, they get so stuck in those failures, and then they never know where to go from there, So it's awesome. I love turning that around. So so like growing up, this was a thing. Like, first of all, when were you diagnosed with dyslexia? When were you diagnosed with ADHD? Was this when you were a kid? Like, was this thing you grew up with your whole life, or?
Yeah. So I remember from some reason that kind of on my second grade, I still remember that parent-teacher meeting. That my teacher. So I got diagnosed with ADHD around, again, the age of 7, 8, second grade ish.
Okay.
And I remember that my teacher was speaking with my mom and saying, "Hey, he has a lot of spelling mistakes and blah blah." But it's okay. We see it all the time. It's going to go away. It didn't. I speak 2 languages, and in some languages it's worse than others. But the thing about ADHD, I got kind of diagnosed, I was afraid to get categorized.
Sure.
So even as a kid, I refused to take medication. But I was lucky enough because since the age of 6 to almost 20, I was training karate professionally.
Nice.
And I was training like over 20 to 30 hours a week. So my body was balanced because I was doing a lot of activity. And as a kid, growing and everything, it was actually balancing me. As well, I didn't understand as a kid that I actually started creating systems even when I was already a kid. I just didn't know. I thought, okay, this is my way, but I didn't know that I actually was creating systems. Like I was at the school, for example, history or literature and stuff like that. I never was writing anything. My notebooks was full of drawings. I was drawing, sketching stuff, doing everything, or playing with a friend sitting next to me. And I remember that the teacher was getting annoyed with me.
Sure.
And then they were called my parents, and then my parents would be like, "Okay, but his grade is good, right?"
He's learning, right? Yeah.
His grade is good, but he doesn't listen. But this is your job to make him listen. But his grade is good, so we're good. Like he's not getting in trouble. If his grade was not good, and I discovered it was because I was doing something else, I was able to listen, so I didn't have to write. If I was writing, I couldn't listen because I'm too fixed on the writing, on the keep my page clean, on the way that I write. That now I also understand it's part of the OCPD as well, because structure of a page, how like keeping the rules of how stuff's supposed to be right, layout, stuff like that is very related. This is where stuff was kind of crushing for me. So by not doing it, it kind of creates math that you have to write. I was lucky enough that it was interesting me. So, and like any person, like for example, is saying about kids, he doesn't listen at school, but he can sit in front of the TV or PlayStation for like 5 hours, no problem, and he's like super focused. It's intriguing him. So if you're able to create anything that will intrigue you, it's actually going to make it. And also, I was unintentionally creating processes all over my life. I actually started taking medications when my son got diagnosed, when I was already in my 30s.
Okay.
Because I was
not. Was that because he had to take medication, or you just discovered that there would be benefit there for you?
So when he got diagnosed, before he started taking it, I'm like, I want to take it first. I want to see it so I can feel what he's going to feel. And then I'm like, I felt like something creating me kind of a tunnel of light and clarity. And I'm like, oh my God.
Hey. If it can help. So you were doing the good dad thing, testing it out on yourself first to see if it was going to be beneficial. And then you said, okay, son, let's give it a try with you and see if it's good.
And because of that, I went and got re-diagnosed as an adult. And then I actually diagnosed that I have a severe ADHD.
Okay.
And a lot of people don't understand because they're expecting someone that have ADHD. He won't be sitting quiet like me. We'll be stepping up, jumping,
Yeah,
going,
yeah.
running. There is different types of ADHD. There is a physical, there is a mental. For me, I am jumping and running around in here right now, but it's a different type of approach. And my kind of over the years, I was always kind of let's call it my adult year. I was very kind of proud of it. But only when I started getting into business after the army, I start more understanding pattern of behaviors, how stuff is getting. I'm a very curious person, so I build systems for everything. But I started understanding the reason I was able to analyze information fast is because of it.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, so I didn't get penalized by having ADHD. I'm gifted,
Yeah.
in a way. So
no, that's why you call it a superpower, right? It's
exactly.
not a, yeah. And there's so many out there like that, man. There's so
There
many
is
out there.
there is so many because I actually joined a group. My wife actually a few months ago, just before we kind of start our campaign to kind of sharing it outside that let's say to strangers. Before it was people in my circle, people I work with, but then I decided to take it even farther away. My wife joined a group in British Columbia. I'm in Ontario, but in British Columbia, she thought it's for spouses for people that has the ADHD, and she's like, okay, I have a support group, someone to kind of help me with that area. And when she joined in, she's like texting me. I was in the basement. She's like, so it's actually not for spouses. Everybody here has ADHD. Maybe you should join. And I went and joined. And the demographic over there was, let's say, 40 plus, like late 30, 40 plus. So I was one of the youngest. And everybody there was late to get diagnosed, in their 40s, in their 50s, in their 60s.
Yeah.
But the one pattern that was over there, everybody was saying like they received a penalty. They're saying, I got diagnosed and now I understand why it's so hard for me. The point was so negative. I'm not able to keep a relationship because of that. I'm not able to keep a job because of that. And then like we went one by one introducing himself, and then they came to me. And then I'm like, I told them, I'm super grateful. This is the best thing that ever happened to me.
Yeah.
I told them, you guys have a gift. I said, you got a superpower. You just don't understand how to use it yet. You need to learn. Don't think about it as something bad. It's not a disability. I hate the word disability.
Right.
It's not supposed to be there. And you just need to know how to use it. And when, to be honest, I didn't even stay to the end of that meeting. It was very depressing because nobody engaged with me. I was that weird.
No, because you're different. You were totally different.
Yeah, I was the black sheep over there. And but when I finished over there the day after, I spoke with my marketing team, and they're already used to me to be some crazy that I will come, hey guys, we're opening another company. I have a crazy idea. And then I'm like, I want to speak. I tell them I want to bring out to everybody and educate about ADHD. I said, I'm not okay that my son and my dad are actually going to get diagnosed next month, but I'm pretty sure that she have it as well. Yeah. And I don't want them that they will think that they have a disability. I need to make a statement about it and show example for my kids, because when my son got diagnosed, my wife, she's a social worker, she kind of let me know, yes, he got diagnosed and everything. Again, she was not sad about it, but it was more updating me about
awareness.
And now we have to do. On the other side, I was thrilled. I'm like, I'm super happy for him. Like it's huge. Like it's just, for me, it was like you're getting a letter from school to tell you your son is gifted. This is what it was mean for me. And this is what I want other people to kind of to see it. Yes, we are different people in a way, but not everybody's different. Let's be honest.
Right. And everybody's different. Yeah. And you never know. And so so you know what? That's a perfect spot for us to take a break here real quick. And because I want to continue with the story. I want to talk a little more about, like you were talking about with that support group, they were seeing it as a limitation and oh my gosh, now what do I do? And you were seeing it as a superpower and a leadership thing and a tool, right? So we're going to talk about that on the other side of the break, because that's important. And anybody listening here, if you're finding this valuable and you're like, oh my gosh, yeah, this is me. This is totally, I can relate to this. Oops, that one. That's the one. There we go. Welcome to live TV, people. The button pusher hit the wrong button. That's the one. If you're watching on Facebook or YouTube right now, and you can comment and just throw a comment in there, just like, hey, Andre, we got to talk. I'm gonna put a QR code up at the beginning of the next segment that'll have that's a LinkedIn profile for Andre that you can reach out and touch base with him if you have any questions or anything. So everybody stick around. There's more to come. Don't go anywhere. And and Andre, I'll see you in just a minute. Appreciate you being here. Thank you.
Thank you.
And all right, everybody, listen, you know, especially if you've been watching for a little bit, like, you know that I'm a coffee nerd, like straight up coffee nerd, you know. And you know, if a bag of coffee, honestly, this is where I'm at. If a bag of coffee doesn't have a roast date on the back of the bag that's within the last couple of weeks. In fact, I just picked up a bag of coffee last weekend it had been roasted the day before. Love that. If it's like recently roasted coffee is some of the most amazing coffee. So that's why I love Mike at Roast to Order Coffee, because he gets it. Okay. He gets it. He understands. And he roasts some amazing coffee. So they roast the beans fresh. They ship them to your door, and they're always coming up with new amazing varieties, flavors, types of coffee, types of delivery methods for coffee, right? Like somebody likes to use the Mr. Coffee machine and use the filters, and that's me. But other people like the pods, right? For like the machine, the Keurig machines or whatever. Some people like those. So Mike listens. He's got flavored coffee. He's got the pods. He's got different roasts, different regions, all kinds of stuff. You know, he's light roast, espresso, decaf, flavored coffee. He's got you covered. He also has e-gift cards for the coffee lover out there. And the best part, coffee subscriptions. So anybody that doesn't want to have to worry about their coffee being there on time, just get them a coffee subscription. Good to go. So, and if you use this QR code to do it, you will get 20% off your first order. So go for it right now. There it is. There's the QR code. It's going away. It's gone. All right. All right, everybody, stick around. We'll see you after this.
Hey there. You know, every time someone comes into your business or website and uses their card to pay, a percentage of that gets folded back into the system. But it can go to Hydro with Hope instead. If you'd like your business to support us rather than feed back into the system, scan the QR code and we'll show you how to do that while saving your business money.
Hey, how you doing? My name is Greg Russell. I'm the host of TechnologyTuesday.com. You can find us on the Conscious Business TV network every Tuesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the latest resources to help you make more money in your business. Join us on E360 TV. Come on.
All right. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. Thank you, Andre. Thank you for being here. This is awesome. If you didn't hear the story in the first segment, go back and listen, because you're going to want to catch it. It's part of the story, man. It's all important stuff. So definitely go back and listen and watch that segment. So I'm curious, like you're talking about all this stuff that was kind of coming to light, and you went to that support group that was kind of a bummer, and never went back. Because you know what, I've been to stuff like that. I've been to groups like that. I went to one the condition I was born with, hydrocephalus. There's an amazing organization out there called the National Hydrocephalus Association, and they have some amazing support groups out there. And some are done well and some aren't. And the ones that I went to were great. Like, they were fantastic. There was a men's support group I spoke at, and a women's support group that I spoke at, and like, they get it, they understand what support is, but not all support groups are created equal. It sounds like the one you went to was kind of like the complain-a-thon or something, like, like, oh my gosh, I have this and woe is me, Have you found other support out there that's better? Is there, like, have you, or do you just not worry about that part?
So I'm a part of a lot of groups. So I have anywhere from different roundtables for businesses. That is a mix of CEOs from different companies, different organization. I'm on a few boards that is very similar to that as well.
Nice.
And also I work with a therapist personally that helped me. And it was also a journey for me because I had to find the right one. And as a person that has ADHD, when I decided, so a person that has ADHD is like a kid that wants a new toy. I decided I want to do something, I want now. It's a good thing and it's a bad thing.
Yeah.
It's a bad thing when it's come as an adult. Let's say I have a new project I want to work on. I'm creating now a lot of processes, and I'm also consulting people about it, because people that have ADHD, we get excited about something. We are like running 200 miles an hour. We go. Usually by the time we get to the 70% completion, we lost interest because we already find something more shiny that we want to run to. Yeah. And so I'm working a lot myself to create processes that making myself finish it, and not only finish it and learn how to enjoy the win of it, or you moving to something else. And it's, to be honest, it's a torture for a person like me, because I want to do that. I don't want it. I want the new stuff. And it's really hard. And for me as a person, I read a lot. This year, actually, I just finishing writing my wins and losses and accomplished for 2025. And I'm starting now writing my goals for 2026. 2025, I read 42 books.
Nice.
And
wow,
my goal is to go over 50 for 26. But it's only because usually people that has ADHD, we cannot read. It's hard to focus.
Yeah. What kind of books do you read? What are the 40? What were the 42? Were they recreational? Were they novels? Were they business books? What do you usually read?
So first of all, I have a time for it, exact time in the day. So the second I get up in the morning, before even I fix the bed, the second literally my leg is stepping on the ground, AirPods going in, we start listening to a book. Because when I'm doing something, I'm working out, I'm fixing the bed first, taking a shower, everything, driving to work, all that period of time, I just gain myself by time management, like an hour plus of reading a book, that if I had to sit down and read a book, it won't happen. I already tomorrow I'll finish my 5th book for 26 already. And
wow. Okay.
Again, some of them are shorter, some of them are longer.
Sure.
I listen to them. I learned that I need to listen in specific speed. So I listen at 1.6. When my wife listened to me, she's like, how do you even understand? I told them it's fitting my rhythm in my brain.
I'm with you. I'm with your wife, man. My wife, she'll listen to some books on 2 times speed, sometimes 1.5 times. I have to slow it down most of the time, man. I got to slow it down to 0.75 or something if I listen. Like, I can't do it sped up, man. So good on you. Like, congratulations. I can't do it that fast.
Again, I just found the time. I try to for some, depends who is reading it.
Yep. Oh, that's for sure.
Who has an accent is really hard to hear. Like, if I will be reading the book, I cannot listen to myself at 2, because the accent is really hard to understand the wording. 1.6 is kind of the sweet spot usually for me.
Okay.
And also because a lot of the books I read, so a lot of them are business. A lot of them is psychology about people's behavior in business.
Okay.
Books about positivity and mindset. This is usually an autobiography. And
cool.
And a new one that I kind of I start reading earlier this year. It's books about wars.
Oh,
And now
okay.
books about wars are usually very heavy. Like if you take the War and Peace that I read, it's like a book. But there is a lot of business knowledge inside, because managing a war strategy, how stuff is happening, risk-taking, how politics of making that decision, everything. It's technically a book about war it's a book about how a person from a place of to be desperate or in a place of anxiety or failure to success, and how stuff is changing. So I find books about war to be very positivity.
So, just out of curiosity, I've got 3 books. I've got 3 books to throw at you. See if you've read them yet.
Okay.
I don't know if you've read them. Maybe you have already. But Adversity Quotient
No, I
is
didn't.
one. That's a really good one. That's a really good business book. The Art of War
Yep.
by Sun Tzu. You've heard of that.
I read there's 2 versions. So I read the short version and I read the original version.
Nice, beautiful. That's such a good book. And then the last one is a little lighter and kind of hilarious, called Green Lights.
I love it, by Matthew McConaughey. So I read Green Lights 6 times.
I've listened to it. Have you listened to it?
I just listen. Again, I love his voice.
Yes, I know. Well, and when you listen to it, there's actually extra in there that's not in the book. I realized that when I was trying to read it and listen to it at the same time, and I couldn't, because he was skipping around and adding extra content. I'm like, forget it. I just closed the book and just listened to it.
It's such a good book. Like, I'm going to read it again this year. Like I said, I read it 6 times. The first time I read it, I liked it so much, I read it right away one more time in 24. And I read it again in 25, I think also twice. First of all, the way that he's reading the book is amazing.
Yeah, it's great.
He's a storyteller, amazing storyteller, but there is a lot of meaning in it. He actually published another book, I think it was last year, about different poems that he wrote.
I did see that. Yep.
It's a very short one, really nice. But if you listen to Green Lights, he will make sense on the period of time that he wrote it, because he's speaking on the time he was in Australia, and the time that he spoke with his father about that he wanted to move from being a lawyer to be an actor, and the approach around it. Again, I even gift that book a few times. It's a beautiful book.
It's awesome. It's right here. I've got it right here because I want to keep it in my line of sight all the time. It's right there. So yeah, I love that book. Well, that's cool. I didn't want to get off the subject, but I had to ask you about those 3, because those are probably especially Green Lights, man. That one's been awesome. So yeah, that's fantastic.
For sure, it's my favorite book, to be honest.
What's that?
It's my favorite book, hands down.
It's it's one of mine too, and I've got a whole list of stuff in Audible that I got to get reading. But there's no way I'm getting through. I suppose I could get through 50 if I really wanted to, but I don't think that's ever been a goal of mine, to read a certain number of books in a year. But good on you, man. That is admirable. I love that. So tell us about, we talked a little bit before, and I mentioned it in your intro. This is part of the thriving part, man. Obviously you are ADHD and dyslexia is not handling you. You are handling them. And you've got UTS Group and you've got Metador. And you're working in the AI world. Is that right? Yeah. That's safe. Yeah. And so, that's fascinating to me. That's what my wife, that's kind of her industry. She's kind of in that, she's in the AI world as well, in part of her company that she runs. And it's just awesome. Tell us more about those 2.
Okay. So I have 3 companies. So we have UTS, that is we do security technology. So we work with a big organization, governmental, that we do design for security projects, for electronic security. So we're using technology as the cameras, access control, controlling, creating flow, documentations. We do also the design for it. So we work a lot with architectures and everything. So we do quite a lot in that area for anything from a medium commercial to a big commercial, governmental, working with police, armies and stuff like that, Canada and the US. Awesome. Another business that we have that was born from UTS, thankfully, when we were installing a lot of systems, installing a lot of them on the doors. And the customer was like, hey, can you install also the doors? And we tried to integrate with other companies. Usually it's in the glazing industry for aluminum and glass doors, and we couldn't find it. And like, all right, so let's open a glazing company. So we have another glazing company that is pretty much, we do, again, big commercial for glass and aluminum work. And Metador is my passion. So Metador was born from, I think, around 5 years ago. I started projects to automate the business. We're working with different softwares and everything, and I wanted something unique. So UTS stands for Unique Technology Solution. So I wanted something unique that kind of combined all the software we're using in one place, and I wanted data, because data is helping me to make better decisions.
Yep.
And I tried with different platforms, from the most expensive one to a custom one, and $2 million after, and 3 years of failures, I was able to actually get on a platform that was able to work. I had many developers that told me that I'm too anal on my requests, and I'm too specific, and what I want cannot be done. And then we fall on a platform called Zoho. So,
yep.
And then we started, and we got to around 50%. And the developer we worked then, it was almost a year delay on his deadline. It was like 3 months we're up and running, and a year after is like, we're still not. I said, you know what? I'm not giving up on it. I went and learned how to do the code myself. And in that process of learning how to do the code and implementing and start working with that, I actually found a good developer that I still work with them until today. But I got so involved in that area of coding, software automation, that surprisingly is very similar to security. Security is also built similar. It's all action and reaction.
Yeah.
And then in that the last 2 years, AI came. And what I call the last 2 years, I call it the technology revolution. So, in the 20s, we had the industrial revolution. We're super lucky. We're in the technology revolution right now.
Yeah.
And stuff is happening on daily basis, not weekly, not daily. There's new updates and stuff like that. Like just a year ago, ChatGPT can work with history for 1 year. Now it can work from history from 2 minutes ago. This is the milestone that been created and been achieved. So as I'm a person of processes on my own personal, I'm also thinking about the businesses. And when creating the system and seeing now this piece of technology of the stuff we can do, we created crazy things. And in Metador, I teach people how to, first of all, I connect them with people that, let's say you say, all right, we want to be the CRM for our company. We connect them to right people that we work with them and we vent with them. We actually don't charge for it. So we have an agreement that if you decide to go ahead with them, the vendor will pay us for kind of a referrals that we have. So in that way, we can just educate. There is no transactional between us. There is a very small group of people that I allow myself from a time that I take them as a project. Usually it's bigger companies that we do full infrastructuring and changing the company, big implementations. But this is kind of more the AI. We're creating really cool things, a lot of that in the constructions, automating stuff, how to create what we call the new generation business, that is lean businesses. That today, with our economy, again, especially in Canada, the economy is not the best. There's no place for huge businesses anymore that have a very big overhead. AI is a tool.
Yes.
So I help people to create processes, but I also help people to educate them to understand that AI is not coming here to take their jobs. AI is a new type of drill for a carpenter. And it just have a bigger battery, and it's faster. And it have more safety.
So much faster.
Exactly. So, but I like to say to people that saying to me, AI is going to take people's job. I'm like, no, AI is not going to take anyone's jobs. A person that knows how to use AI will take the job of a person that does not know how to use AI.
Yes, exactly.
And this is kind of a lot of stuff. So I do introductions for big firms of how to approach even. Like, again, they have 200 employees. How you implement it? It's hard when you have big companies.
Yeah.
So we have that side. The other side is related to consultation, is also related to ADHD. So I'm openly share a lot of my personal experiences of the stuff that I've been through and how I go. And a lot of the stuff I like to share is my failures, because they are my diplomas that I kind of learn stuff. And Also, I work with, so what we say earlier about the groups. So actually this year, I don't know if it's this month or next month, we're actually launching, we're creating different roundtables. So there will be roundtables for business owners to join for problem solving.
Awesome.
And also for people that has ADHD, especially for leaders, to be honest, but it's open for everybody.
Yeah.
And instead of creating, usually most places they're doing consultation. Actually, my team say, "Oh, maybe you're going to do consultation." I'm like, I'm not certified for that. I can share with you as a conversation, like me and you speaking right now, as my own personal.
Yes.
I cannot tell you what to do, even if you have ADHD. I can tell you what I did. We can discuss it. So I can open the table for a roundtable discussion. It's not consultation. It's not therapy. It's not what we're doing here. I'm coming here to show you a different side and creating a discussion about it. So this is kind of, we're going to have different type of groups that people will be able to join. We're going to have meetings once a month and so on. We have a very big platform coming up this year related to ADHD. So it's kind of a huge hub related to ADHD that giving people there is today with AI is bridging the gap. So for example, when I came to Canada, I remember, and I had spelling mistake in Hebrew in my original language.
Yep.
And I remember when I came to Canada, I know how to speak English, not as good as today, but I was able to communicate. But writing was like, where do I start?
Yeah.
That is not an issue anymore because there is tools to bridge that gap. I can tell you that dyslexia in general is being cured. I'm not saying it is a disease, but
it's still a thing. Yeah, it's still out there, but it's so much easier to deal with now. Yeah,
it's not a problem anymore. It's not something we even have to think about it. It's just I call it's another brush on my shoulder. That's it. It's not something that can affect. It's not something will delay.
Yeah.
It's not something I need to learn how to deal with that because there is tools to just cover it and kind of bridge that gap. Yep. ADHD is something, and OCPD, you need to understand yourself better. You need to come to a place of self-honesty and willing to learn myself without putting any type of titles or anything around it. In order to understand yourself better, you'll be easier as much as you are honest with yourself and creating processes about it. And on my LinkedIn, you can see I share actually what is my morning routine, what is my evening routine, and a lot of different stuff that it will sound very extreme or weird for other people, but I found what is good for me. It doesn't mean it's good for somebody else. It's just a template. You need just to create it. And we all doing it daily. We just don't understand it. But the second we're doing it on everything, it's easier.
Yeah, exactly. I love that. And yeah, I was going to say, I put that QR code up there on purpose. We want to get people to chat. So if you have questions for Andre, if there's things he's saying, you're like, yeah, we got to talk. That LinkedIn page is going to give you so much information. It's got so much on there. Go there. You can reach out to him on LinkedIn. You can reach out to him, send him a message there, and he can get back to you and answer any questions you have. It's a great page. So go check it out. Go learn more, and definitely we'll just keep that up there through the end of the show. So anybody that wants to get in touch can do that. And man, I tell you what, there's one thing forgive me. I do want to talk about one thing that I have found that helped, that I'm excited to see if it's going to help me. There's so many things that you've talked about that's helped you within ADHD and dyslexia and all these processes you've put in place, all these different things, and everybody with an invisible condition can relate to that. There's always something that they're like, well, what if I add this? What if I add this to my routine? What if I take this away? So one of the things that I've learned about recently is, and I'm still learning about this. I literally only know enough to be dangerous right now because I just had this amazing couple on the show last week actually, and this is what we were talking about. It's called Healthy Home, and it's talking about stem cells, and it's not the patches, it's not all that stuff. I know people talk about the patches all the time. That's not it. It's generating new stem cells by the millions to reactivate things that need healing in your body. And like, I'm 15 surgeries in, man. I'm 7 brain surgeries in. I got I'm like basically held together with scar tissue. And so I can't wait to see how this works. I'm jumping on board with these guys, and I'm gonna ride this out and see what happens. So if you have questions about that, if anybody watching has questions about that, and you're like, what the heck are you talking about? Scan the QR code, learn a little bit more about what's going on. Call that number right there if you have questions, and the amazing people that'll pick up at the end of that phone call will answer questions. But stick with me, guys, through this journey, because I'm excited to just start going down this road, talking about tools. So I'm going to put your LinkedIn page back up there, but I just wanted to throw that out there because tools are important for everybody. So no matter what you're going through. So let's see. What do we? I was going to ask you something. Neurodiversity is like such a buzzword now. Like that's such a thing. I feel like everybody feels like they have. Well, like ADHD was kind of a buzzword for a while. It's like, oh my gosh, I can't pay attention. I must have ADHD.
Yeah.
No, that's not the thing. ADHD is bigger than that. It's a little more serious than that. There's actually things going on, that you can. So how do you implement anything in there? Like in the neurodiversity world, like you lead teams, you empower others at your companies. Do you take neurodiversity into account for that? Do you have a lot of people on your team working with that?
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's not only in business. So
sure,
there's a lot of things. Again, a lot of people think ADHD, saying, "Oh, yeah, that person is an hyper." He's hyper, he's visionary. Like this is usually kind of the label around it. I don't like labels. I don't like categories.
Nope.
You won't even see a title on my email.
Nice.
And
love it.
The reason for it, again, there is going back to honesty, understand of who I am. And I know that over the years, I kind of learn and I change a lot in my point of view as a manager, as the different type of managers there is as well. You have a manager that is kind of more hands-on. You have managers of managers. You have an owner. You have a person that has a business so he can have a job. You have a person that is a business owner that is less involved. And there's a business person. Like I actually categorize different areas, and going back, I can see kind of that development. And that development is never going to end. You're always going to keep on growing.
Yeah.
But it's also understanding what type of leader are you. And in the last 2 years, I did a huge change by implementing the CRM and everything, the ERP that we built. We also changed a lot in the company. And we're now pretty much 2-3 steps from completion. It's supposed to be done by the summer, kind of the final. The last step for the final, there will be one very main person in the business that will have to be removed as part of finishing that transaction that we did. And that person is me. Because part of reviewing everything and looking at everything the same, after we finishing and we kind of shake the boat and we almost drown and we can't wake him up and now we're building a new team and everything, now we need to sail smoothly. I'm not the right leader. I'm not the right leader for it. Because I understand that I am a leader in case of extreme, let's say a company has extreme growth and need to be very quick and tactic, or a company that is losing money and needs someone to act very aggressively and fast. Someone is good for when there is an issue, a good and bad.
Yeah.
I'm a person that good to come for X amount of time, come in, shake the boat, fix it, and then go. I'm not the right person for sustaining a company for sustainable growth without creating too much excitement. Jim Rohn said there is 2 types of companies. You have exciting companies that lose money, and you have boring companies that make money. And it's not because the company is boring. It's about the company that is doing. A person that has ADHD as ongoing operator, he cannot manage a boring company. He will make it exciting.
Yeah.
And because of that, it's not fair for my team. Because over the years, I lost really good people. Because I didn't understand my own honesty of who I am. Who is the people I should work closely? Who is the people I shouldn't work closely? Because I can stress them out. I can create anxiety with people. You need to understand with who you're supposed to work and put the right people. That is, the person cannot work with me doesn't mean he's not good. I'm just not good for him as a leader.
Exactly.
It's not that he is not good.
Exactly.
And as well as how to also manage yourself, because you're saying, how are you working with your team? In the end of the day, as a person that has ADHD, I need to be managed. Like my assistant, technically, in our job description, it's saying her job is to be my boss.
Right.
And she's
Wrangle me in, man.
in line.
Yeah. Yep.
Again, she was hired. I had many assistants, but the assistant I have right now, Mariana, I'm super grateful for her. I have her, and I have another person in my operation team. Her name is Anna. They put me in line and they give me shit on a weekly basis if I'm not keeping myself accountable. But I need it because I understand what is the team that I need next to me, and they make sure that I'm in connection with the team where they need it. But when I do an interview, I explain to people three things. I have ADHD. If they don't know, I explain what is it. So I tell them I'm not crazy. This is how my brain works. Secondly, I said English is not my first language, and my first language is Hebrew. So mentally, I translate. So I'm not trying to be rude, but in Hebrew, when you want to say to someone, come, you don't say, hey, can you please come to my office? In Hebrew, you say, come. It's not worth trying. So I usually kind of have an intro for every new employee on part of the onboarding of kind of getting them the information that's needed. But I build systems that eliminate a lot of physical contact, not physical, but even online. We work mostly online with people in a way to create them more tools, because I cannot give you training to someone. I'll get them overwhelmed, because especially if I'm excited about it. So we created different stuff in a way to support the team in that way that I'm sustaining my team.
Andre, it's true, man. There's so much cool stuff you're doing. And I wish we had more time, man, but we are out of time. Is there anything that you want to leave our audience with literally in the next 30 seconds? Like, close us out in 30 seconds. What do you want to leave our audience with?
I'll leave the audience with a question that I ask myself every few months. The question is what I want to be when I'll be oldest and where I want to be. And that's not related to business. It's setting ourselves short-term goals for short-term wins. In that way, it's creating positivity, because if we think positive on stuff is brighter. And there's no limits. Again, anything that is a limit, and I'm committed to show to people that stuff like, for example, from my experience, ADHD, OCPD, and everything, they're not my limit. That's actually what's making to be limitless.
Love that. That's perfect. That's awesome. It's all into perspective, man. I love that. Yeah. Andre, thank you so much, man. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your insights. Thank you for everything today, man. It was such a pleasure having you on the show. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. We'll talk to you in a minute. But thank you for being here.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you for inviting me. It was a pleasure.
Absolutely. Awesome, man. Seriously, scan that QR code, guys. You want to talk, you want to have a conversation with Andre. You want to talk to him more. I promise you. All right. It's got to go away though. There it goes. All right. If you still want to scan the QR code, rewind the episode, go scan the QR code. All right. Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. I'm so glad that you're here. I couldn't do this without you. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you for everybody that's been watching, for everybody that's been here since the beginning. Maybe this is your first episode. Welcome. I hope you stick around and see what other amazing stories we've got coming lining up for the next few weeks. It's just going to be awesome. So follow, subscribe, share all the things on social media with YouTube and Facebook, and just get those reminders going so you know when the next show is going to be. And join us for our next show, which is going to be Friday, January 30th. And until then, looking forward to seeing you. Have an amazing day.